Well, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. Obviously, you guys know last night I had to get off because I was getting really sleepy, and I feel a hell of a lot better now. So we're back. So I'm going live again because I owe you guys, another live stream after leaving a little early last night. But no, we're back. I feel way better. So got some rest, got some good rest last night. So we're back. We're gonna do it again. I know I didn't plan it out or anything like that, but um, we're just gonna do it again, you know. And if I do get a little tired, I'll be completely fine. But the reason why I think I got tired is because I get up really early. Now get up around like 6 o'clock. So um, but yeah, I feel a hell of a lot better now. We're back. We're going to talk about some Scream. Obviously, that's what this stream is. So, everyone, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as always. And yeah, and sorry for the inconvenience last night. I was just, absolutely just tired, and I had to get some rest. So, um, and we already got somebody in here already. What's up, James? How's it going, man? Thank you for popping in. Um, Thank you for joining me. But yeah, so that this is gonna be just a screen talk, or you just talk nothing about nothing but screen. Basically, what I do now, sometimes I like changing it up where we talk about different movies. And maybe the next stream we'll probably talk about like Halloween or maybe even Child's Play or something like that, just to kind of change it up because again, I don't really I like changing it up sometimes. So I like talking about other franchises, you know. No, but sometimes we'll have a stream where we just talk about all of them, anything really. I'm a Scream fan. Yeah, yep, I am too. Um, I am too, and that I just thought it would be a fun idea to change it up a little bit because I did do a Child's Play stream a while back. I decided to do something like new, like so sometimes I'll do just like a Scream stream, and then the next time I stream, I do a Halloween stream. After that, I do a um Child's Play, something like that. So I try to change it up a little bit here and there. And then sometimes we just have a stream where we talk about all horror movies in general. So but yeah, that's basically what I do sometimes. Sometimes we just change it up a little bit and do something new. Um, but this is going to be a Scream stream, so obviously I didn't plan it. I didn't plan it out. Which last night, I don't know, you weren't in the stream last night, but um, so I was in the middle of the stream, right? I was talking about the Scream franchise, talking about Scream 7, and I was like getting so tired. I was so tired. Um, Before I even hopped on the stream, but I had scheduled, so I knew, I was like, yeah, I'm still gonna, I have to still stream. So I was a little tired, and I was talking about the Scream franchise, and I was falling asleep, and I told everyone I had to get off early, so that's why I'm trying to do it again today. Kind of like owe them, I kind of owe them another stream. I owe my audience another stream, you know. So I'm just gonna do it again. And I know I didn't schedule it or nothing like that. I like hear people are talking about the movie, something like I like to hear. or like to hear new stuff. Yeah, like I was saying, like I talk about like this stream, this specific stream is about Scream franchise, and then the next one that I do will probably be about Halloween, um, and so on. You get what I'm saying? Like I try to change it up a little bit to make it a little fun, a little different. Um, because I usually have a stream where we just talk about everything, like every movie, every horror movie. Um, but this one's more of just we just talk about sometimes just one movie, one franchise, which is I just try to do something new here and there. But yeah, so we're gonna get into some Scream 7 talk. Obviously, we're talking about the whole Scream franchise, so we don't just talk about Scream 7. We talk about the whole franchise in general. Like, so I'm gonna talk about the rumors about Neve Campbell. Obviously, you guys know. So Neve Campbell is rumored to be coming back to the Scream franchise. Um, and she hasn't like confirmed or anything. They haven't confirmed. I don't think that they're gonna tell us, even if she does come back. But I was talking about this last night in the stream. I was saying that it's a good idea. It's a good idea to bring her back for one last film because of Sam, Melissa Barrera, and Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega not being in there. Um, and yeah, I heard that this is just rumor circulating, of course. This isn't legit, but there's a possibility that Neve Campbell could come back because, again, we don't have any other final girls. Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega won't be in the film. You don't got any final girls or anything. You really don't got a story to tell. So, and a lot of people feel that this movie should be canceled because if Neve Campbell doesn't come back, then this movie, people feel it should be canceled, which I don't really blame them, to be honest with you. But at the same time, it's all about money. This franchise is money. It's a money grab. And it's a big franchise. So I mean, it would be hard for me to see them just quit making it. But yeah, I definitely think it's a possibility that we could get Neve Campbell back. And a lot of people were also saying that if she doesn't come back, well, they don't really have a story to tell. So what are they going to do? Are they going to cancel it? Should they cancel it? Well, at that point, probably. But if they do bring Neve back, they need to keep it going. They could keep it. I'm pretty sure that even look, I understand what people are saying. Like people just don't want because Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera won't be in it, and then on top of that, Neve Campbell don't come back. I mean, I understand like why people want it to be canceled at that point. I understand all that. I understand, but this movie, this franchise, it makes a lot of money, and it's made a lot of money, so it's a big franchise. I was here about. Oh yeah, we need Stu. Yeah, we do need Stu. I've been saying that we like Stu. The reason why I feel like they're leaning towards it is because Scream 5 and Scream 6, like all the clues in Scream 5 and 6, like it goes to show that it seems that they're leaning, towards his return. And people even say that he was in Scream 4 even. And also in Scream 3. So there's a lot of Easter eggs that people have seen. A lot of a lot of people made videos about that I didn't realize, especially in Scream 4 when there was a couple scenes, where he was the killer was basically teleporting. Same with Scream 3. Like a lot of people were saying that he was basically teleporting. Um, so it was just like, how is he able to? How is he teleporting like that? And how is Ghostface teleporting? Which I understand he's kind of fast, but in that amount of time for him to get all of a sudden he was behind. I'm talking about the Milton's mansion scene. And then the house, when Sydney sees her house or whatever, and she goes in, and the killer attacks her, whatever. He like teleports. He's outside, right? He was outside. Then when she got inside, he all of a sudden he teleported, and he was inside just like that. So there was definitely the two killers in that scene. And a lot of people were speculating and saying that it was Stu, and I definitely think that's possible. But I also think it was Angelina because Angelina was the secret second killer. So I know Dewey died. Should bring him back. It was that. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna bring Dewey back because again, he did get brutalized. He got stabbed multiple times, which I understand. Like Chad, he got stabbed multiple times. He came back, but this was a little different. Like his kill when he got killed, it was literally like a fatality. He got brutalized. You know, I just don't see him coming back. I wish that he would. I wish that he could come back because everyone loves the Dewey character. Everyone loves, his character in general. Like his character is so iconic. Even though a lot of people don't really care for the actor, in real life, the character that he played though, we appreciate that because his character, the Dewey character, is so iconic. And of course, I want to see him back, but I don't think he's gonna come back. It's too unrealistic at this point, you know. And like I was saying, I don't think he'll come back. The only way he comes back is if he, appears in like a dream sequence or something. He had the best chapter. Yeah, he did. He did. Yep, he definitely did. He had the best chapter. He's just an iconic character. Um, I consider him to be one of the OGs, and I'm just kind of mad. Like I'm not mad that they killed him off. I'm mad that the way that they killed him off. It should have been done a lot better, in my opinion. Um, and I heard a lot of stuff that, um, I heard a lot of stuff that Radio Silence didn't really like approach him or anything about it. They basically just killed him off and said that was it, and didn't approach him about it or anything like that. That's what I had heard. Um, I don't know how true that is. I don't know how true that is, but you know, regardless of what's true and what's not, I really don't know what happens behind the scenes. But a lot of people were saying that they didn't really approach him, about killing his character off. So that was kind of like why would you do that for you? First of all, he's been in the movie since 1996. He's did like 5 movies, and obviously 5 though. He was in Scream 5, but he did 4 other ones. So it was just like, oh, like why would you do, like why would you not approach him in the right way? You know, about killing his character off. You know, so and then that's my only problem with it. Like I didn't mind him die. Like again, I didn't mind him getting killed off. I didn't mind it at all. Like I did not mind his character to be like get killed off or anything like that because I know we do have to move on and we do have to move on to new characters. But at the same time, I feel like there's better ways to go about it. You know, there's better ways to go about it. You know, that's just my feeling on it. Like, there's better ways to go about it. Like, they could have did something to where he either went off in the sunset with like Sydney did, or they could have just said that he retired or something like that. You know, they could have did anything like that. You know, they didn't really necessarily. You don't have to necessarily kill a character off to move off of them. You know, and that's basically my other problem with it. You know, and it was just like the way the problem with that I had was that he had the chance. So he's shooting Ghostface, right? He's shooting the killer. He shoots him, right? And he walks Sam, Tara, and Richie to the elevator. And then you know he would what he does? He turns around and he says that he has to shoot him in the head. That's my problem with it because he was already in the elevator, so therefore, why would he have to turn around to go shoot Ghostface in the head? You know, when he basically already knew how to do that, so he did it. He did it in Scream 3. So don't you think he should have known that? I think he would have known. I'm pretty sure he would have 100% should have known. And if it was Wes Craven's film, he would have shot him in the head when he had the chance. A lot of people are saying that that's basically like what his character is. You know, his character is basically, you know, that way. Like you know, he was like he missed shots and he stepped on pizza, got distracted and whatnot. I mean, he literally went back and got distracted by a phone, and that was it. Then he got killed. That was it. So that's my problem with that. You know, like he wasn't that damn stupid in my opinion. He would have shot him in the head when he had the chance. Just like in Scream 3, even though Sydney told him to shoot Roman in the head, he still knew how to do that. So that's just my opinion. You know, when you learn how to shoot somebody in the head and somebody tells you to and you do it, you should know how to do it. You know, that's just that's just common sense. But you know, it's sad. But I guess you do got to move on, and you can't have the old characters, you know, forever. So I didn't like when they killed off. Movie was really sad. Yeah, it was. It was really sad, you know, and I kind of knew that they were gonna kill him off beforehand because this is the number one reason why I knew. Okay, I knew because of that goodbye tour that they did. That's how I basically knew that they were gonna kill him off. Um, that commercial when you know he's basically in Stu's house or whatever. That's the reason why I knew they were gonna kill him off was because of that commercial. Um, so I knew from the get go, and a lot of other people knew as well. Like a lot of people were basically predicting it. So it made a lot of sense. It made a lot of sense, you know, that um it made a lot of sense in a way because again, that was basically his goodbye tour. So I already knew. A lot of people were already predicting it. I don't think Wes Craven would have killed him off. There's just no damn way Wes Craven would have killed him off. You know, I don't think that he even had plans to kill him off. You know, so I'm kind of 50-50 on the whole thing. Like, I feel like they did the right thing, but then again, I don't, because there's better ways to go about it. There's better ways to go about that. You don't necessarily have to kill a character off just to move off, to move on to new characters. You don't have to kill them off. There's other ways to do it, as I was saying. So it's unfortunate, but I guess it is what it is. Got to move on to the new characters, I guess, and now, and I already know that Gale's probably gonna die in the next film as well. The reason why I know that is because she almost got killed off in Scream 6. And then this is another thing too. And I thought she was gonna die in Scream 6 when she got stabbed in that way, the way that she did. Like, I 100% thought that she was gonna get, killed. And because I thought they were gonna follow like Star Wars or something like that. And that kind of got me thinking that they were gonna, kill her off. Just kind of like they did, I think it was Han Solo, I believe it was, or Kylo Ren. I forget who it was, but somebody said that Kylo Ren or somebody or Han Solo, which I'm not gonna compare. I'm not trying to compare Star Wars and Scream with each other. That's what people always seem to say, that I'm comparing the two, but I'm not comparing the two. I'm actually just trying to make an example. Like, so let's just say like Han Solo got killed, right? And then after that, I think, I believe Kylo Ren, maybe Kylo Ren was the one that died after. I forget who died after. But a lot of people are comparing that with the Gale situation. Like, a lot of people thought that she was going to die right after Dewey did, after he died in Scream 5. They thought they were going to kill her off in Scream 6 or something like that. But they didn't. She almost died, but she didn't, they didn't kill her off. But yeah, I really did think, I thought that they were going to definitely kill her character off, in that scene, especially when she got attacked. Like, I 100% knew that she was going to die. I thought she was going to die, and I even predicted it in my videos before Scream 6 even came out. I predicted that, she was going to die, and it turned out that she didn't. I was wrong, but my prediction was pretty close. Yeah. But yeah, so my prediction was pretty close. And, I just know that she's going to die in Scream 7. I just know it. I just know. Because again, you got to move on. You got to move on. You can't have the same characters like forever, I guess. Like, there's going to be a point in time where we don't have Sidney, where we don't have Gale, where we don't have, I would say Dewey's dead now. Like, there's going to be a point in time where we don't have any of them. And we're starting to get there. Because if Sidney does come back, this film's going to be her last. If Neve Campbell does come back, this film, it's going to be her last Scream film, I think. And if they kill off Gale, they kill off Gale's character, that's basically it. You know, that we're not going to have any OGs no more. We're not going to have Sydney. We're not going to have Gale. We're not going to have Dewey no more. You know, basically the OGs are going to be gone after this film. If Nev Campbell comes back, of course, which I already know probably Gale's coming back and Courtney Cox, but yeah, there's just no way in hell that they're going to come back. No way that they're not going to kill Gale off. And if they don't, I'm going to be super surprised. You know? And nothing against, you know, Gale's character. I like her character and all. But I feel like they should have killed... A lot of people feel that they should have killed her character off over Dewey's, but I think I'm kind of 50-50 on it. Because Dewey was like more of like a hero, I think, to me. So I think it like meant a lot more, especially when he got killed off in that way. Like, so I think they did the right thing. I think that they did the right thing, in my opinion. It should have been done right though. That's the only problem. But yeah, there was a lot of plans, you know, on, you know, Dewey, or not Dewey. A lot of people were saying because Courtney Cox wanted to die in Scream 4. She asked Wes Craven and told him that, you know, she wanted to get killed off. And I guess he didn't like the idea, I guess, for some reason. And he kept her alive. So that's why a lot of people felt like it was time for her to go. But fortunately, we're just wrong. I don't hate her character again. I just feel like, you know, a lot of people were just making predictions. I was making predictions myself about her character possibly dying in Scream 5 or even like Scream 6. I definitely thought she was going to die in Scream 6, but yeah. I do think that she will definitely die in Scream 7 because this is basically the trilogy. And again, if they're going to try to move off of, you know, the OGs, they're most definitely going to do that. Like, in my opinion, and it's sad again, but we got to move on. We can't have the same old characters forever, you know. So I understand what people mean by that. Like, so it's definitely a it's definitely going to be really weird, especially after this film. In the future, it's going to be weird because we're not going to have Sydney, we're not going to have Gale, we're not going to have Dewey, we're not going to have any of them, you know. And it's going to be really weird. There's going to be a point in time though when we get there, you know, when we don't have them, and that's just the reality of it. And fortunately, it's sad. We want to keep them forever, but at the same time, we do got to move on at some point. So, I mean, we can't keep them around forever, you know. And we gotta, you know, get new characters involved, and Melissa Barrera and, you know, Jenna Ortega, they may want to come back Who really knows? Maybe they will want to come back. You know, maybe they will. I'm not saying that they won't. It's not. It's definitely a possibility in the future. I mean, who's to say that they can't? I am. Um, and I know Melissa Barrera. She got fired and whatnot. It depends on what the studio thinks in the future. Um, but yeah, I definitely think that she could come back. They definitely will. I think in the future. So yeah, I definitely don't think that this is going to be the last like Scream film or anything like that. But I do think that it's going to be. I do believe that it's going to be the ending of the storyline that they're going with. Like I think they're going to start like a whole new time. That's going to be the end of this timeline. I think, and we're going to move on. I think to a new timeline. This is what I believe. So this film's not going to be the last, but it is going to be the end of this timeline, like I was saying, that we're currently in. So they're going to move on to a new, which that's the right thing. It sucks that we're going to have to move off of the old characters, but that's just the way it's going to have to be. Can't have them forever. Can't have them forever. Like Sydney, can't have her forever. Can't have Gail forever. That's just the way it is. Just like with the Halloween franchise, which I don't want to get off topic because this is a Scream stream. So, but the Halloween franchise, right? Like Jamie Lee's character, Laurie Strode. Obviously, she basically won't be in the movies no more. That was basically her last film. Halloween Ends. So I consider this film to be like Sydney's last film, especially if she returns. This is basically like Halloween Ends, Scream. It's basically like it's similar to Halloween Ends in a way. It's going to be like her last film. I think anyways, because if they bring Stu back, that's definitely going to be more. You have to have Sydney, right? You have to have Sydney involved if you bring Stu back, because again, who is he going to go after at that point? Is he going to go after Gail? I mean, why would he go after Gail for? So I don't really understand. So I think it makes a lot more sense for him to go after. It makes a lot more sense for him to go after Sydney, because Sydney was the one that threw the TV on him. So, and I talked about this many times, that it makes a lot more sense. It doesn't make sense at all for them to have him go after Gail or something like that when he has no ties to Gail. The only thing that he's got ties to, obviously he knows her, but it's not like they had ties. He wants to go after Sydney more, in my opinion, because Sydney is the main one, the one that threw the TV on him and whatnot. It makes a lot more sense that he would be pissed off at her other than Gail or like Sam. If Sam was even going to be, if she was, let's just say Sam was in the film, right? Let's just say, obviously Melissa Barrera got fired, but What does say that she was going to be in the film? Do you think that it would have made sense for Stu to go after Sam? No, I don't think so. I just don't think that would have made any sense because again, you know, Sydney was the one that threw the TV on him and makes it more personal, in my opinion. Um, it just makes it more personal because again, they went to school together. They know each other really well. Obviously, they basically got ties with each other. A lot more ties than Gale and Stu do. So that Gale doesn't really. Gale obviously knows him, but not like Sydney does. You know, it's a lot more. I feel like it's a lot more intense to have Sydney and him go at it with each other. You know, that's just my feeling on it. I don't think it makes any sense to have him come back with Sam or anything. And go after Sam. Obviously, Sam not being in the film now, your only option is to bring Sydney back, and that makes a hell of a lot more sense. So that's just my opinion. I mean, if you're gonna do something to where like, if you're gonna do something to where Stu tried to go after Gale or something like that, okay, that's fine. But the ending of the film needs to be Sydney. Obviously, Stu, take unmasking or whatever. It's got to be him and Sydney at the end. You know what I mean? It's got to be. There's no other way you could really do it. It's got to be him. It's got to be her. Reacting to basically Stu being alive, and maybe you could even have Gale, react as well. Of course, if she doesn't die in like the middle of the movie, which I mean, I wouldn't mind any of that. And also too, Hayden Panettiere, aka Kirby, I think that she'll be coming back as well because she didn't die in Scream 6. So I'm assuming that she will be back in this film. Imagine if we have like some she was like involved in the end as well, like, and she like meet Stu for the first time or something like that. Like, I mean, that would be pretty interesting there. But yeah, I really do hope that they do bring Stu back 100%. Like, I 100% believe that he was the one that killed Dewey. I still believe it, and a lot of people don't, which is fine. There's just no way for me to. There's no way that Stu. There's no way that Amber killed Dewey. I talked about that many times. Like, I don't think that that Amber killed Dewey because again, it seemed like a man, killing her. So I don't think that it was. I truly don't believe it was Amber at all. It was definitely a man, and a lot of people are speculating that it was Stu, which I do believe that in a way because again, I think okay, so Dewey, I feel like he knew. I feel like Dewey knew that Stu was alive the whole time and just didn't want to tell Gale or Sydney about it. He wanted to keep it all secret. So I definitely 100% believe that. I believe that he knew one way or another. I do believe 100% that he did know. Because again, he was speaking on him like, he was speaking on Stu in the present tense, not the past tense. So when you're talking about somebody in the present tense, he's definitely he's got to know. He's got to know something that we don't. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion on that. Like, he's got to know. He had to have known. And I know it's just a theory, of course, that he knew the whole time. And I still believe that he did, because he's not going to sit there and go tell Gail or Sydney, oh, that Stu's alive. No, he didn't want to tell him that because he was afraid to tell him. So that's just my theory, that he knew all along and he held it in for so many years. Not even just in Scream 5, but just for so many years. Even in Scream 2, in Scream 3, and Scream 4, Like, he knew that he was still alive. He just didn't want to say it. And it kind of showed. It kind of showed because he was, again, speaking on him in the present tense. So when you talk about somebody in the present tense, that you're basically saying that they're not dead. Because you're not speaking on them in past tense. That's just my theory on that. So I definitely think that he did know 100%. There's just no doubt in my mind that he did know, or that no doubt in my mind that he knew. He knew 100%. And that's just my theory on that. Like, so that's just what I think personally. And if it turns out that Stu doesn't return and it's somebody else, maybe like Leslie, which I also thought that's another possibility. Maybe Leslie Mocker is one of the masterminds, or maybe one of the killers that may return. But again, even if that was Leslie Mocker, why would she be able to? How would she be able to manhandle Dewey? You know what I mean? That's just my question. A lot of people are saying that it's a possibility that it could be Leslie. Well, yeah, it can be, but again, how would she be able to manhandle Dewey in that way? Like, especially if she's a girl. And nothing against girls, again. I just don't think a girl is going to be able to manhandle a guy like that, especially in that manner, in my opinion. There's just no way possible. I don't think that a girl is going to be able to, especially a girl that's the size of Amber, like which she's probably like 5'7", 5'8", around there, right? And Dewey's like 6'2". So you mean to tell me that she's going to be able to manhandle a grown-ass man like that? That's like 6'3", 6'2"? I mean, come on, let's just face facts, guys. Like, no. There's just no way. There's no way that's possible. And people keep on saying that there's, well, certain camera angles and this and that, makes it look like makes it look like the killer's taller and bigger and all that. No, that's BS. That's BS. In my opinion. There's just no way that cameras are going to be able to make somebody look bigger than what they actually are. There's no way. No way possible. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. I've never believed it. You know, ever since I watched Scream 5, and ever since I watched a whole bunch of videos about it, how people were basically explaining it. People were basically explaining, talk about the theory that Stu killed Dewey and all that. Then I started believing, because I noticed that the ghost face that we saw was obviously a big guy. Like it seemed like a 6'4", 6'3". That's how tall this killer was. Like, and it obviously wasn't Richie, because obviously Richie was with Sam and Tara in the elevator, right? Because Sam, obviously Dewey saved them both, saved them all three of them, saved Richie, saved Sam and Tara. So it wasn't him, right? So I mean, you got to think about it. We got to think about it, right? I mean, there's no way that there's the camera angles are going to be able to make him look bigger than what he really is. There's just no way. I don't believe that, you know? And if it's not Stu, okay, I'll admit that I'm wrong. But I do believe that it is Stu. 100%. You know? And if I'm wrong, I'll come on here and admit that I'm wrong, you know? If in Scream 7, which you won't see for, another year or so, if I'm wrong about it, then I'll tell you that I'm wrong, but I don't think that I am. I mean, a lot of people don't think a lot of people don't, they say the same thing, and there's people who hate Stu, it's not necessarily the people that don't like Stu, it's just people that believe that Stu is dead, right? They basically say that, oh, well, the camera angles and all that makes him look taller and all that. Like, so those are the people that actually say that believe that he's dead. Like they say, camera angles make him look, make the killer look taller, make the person look taller than what he really, And I'm just like, that's just BS. The camera angle cannot make somebody look taller. There's just no way. I don't believe that. I still don't believe it. There has to be some kind of something. There's something to it. And I just believe. I strongly believe that it's Stu. I strongly believe it. Like, no way somebody's gonna change my mind on it. No way possible. I'm sorry. Nobody's gonna change my mind on it. Absolutely nobody. I'm on the Stu train, and like I was saying, if I'm wrong, then I'll admit that I'm wrong. I'll come on here after Scream 7's released. When I watch it in theaters, obviously we won't be able to see it for another year or so. But if it turns out that it's not Stu, I'll come on here face to face with all the people that say he's dead. And I'll come on here and tell you that I'm wrong. But if I'm right, it's over. That's all I gotta say. It's over, man. It's over. You know what I mean? All the people that say that he's dead. If he does come back, and it turns out that he is. in Scream 7 that he was involved with Scream 6 and 5, oh man, you better give me $100. That's all I gotta say. I'm not saying that he's going to return again. I want him to return. Everyone wants him to return, and a lot of people think that he will. I just think it's a perfect storyline, a perfect story for him to return. Just the build up for it, does everything, all the clues, Scream 6, Scream 5, all the clues just give you that, that he's going to come back. It gives you, there's so much Easter eggs in Scream 6, especially in Scream 5. Obviously, Scream 5, and a lot of people, another thing too, a lot of people believe that he was the one that attacked Tara in the opening scene, which I think that's another possibility, because if you guys don't remember, Richie wasn't around during that time. He was on vacation during that time, and Amber was at her house, basically. So it wasn't her, right? And if Richie wasn't around and Amber wasn't around, well, you got to ask yourself who that person was, right? It's got to be Stu. It's got to be Stu, man. I keep I'm not saying that it is again, but I really do believe that it is. I have to, there's just no way that this Ghostface is that damn tall. This killer was literally 6'4", 6'3", somewhere around there. And nobody's gonna tell me. Nobody's gonna tell me different. I think it's the same. I honestly think it's the same killer. I think it's the same killer that killed Dewey. The exact same killer. And nobody's going to tell me different on that. Nobody's going to tell me different. I think it's the same killer. 100%. 100%. And then the person that killed... Okay, so the person that killed Dewey, the person that attacked... So the killer that attacked Tara is the same killer that killed Dewey. And then the killer in Scream 6 that attacked Gail, that was the same killer from Scream 5 that killed Dewey. Just had a different mask on. That's my theory on that. Definitely were the same killers, I think. Had the same size. This Ghostface again was really, really, really tall. And yeah, I definitely believe that that was the same killer that attacked Tara. That's just my theory on that. The same Ghostface that killed, the same Ghostface that attacked Tara, and the same Ghostface that killed Dewey. That's just my theory on that. And yeah, you could say, well, the mask, yeah, it looked different. The mask did look different, but again, we got to also remember that that mask could also be either Stu's mask or Billy's mask, one of the two. Which I believe it could be Billy's mask, but who's to say that Stu's not going to wear Billy's mask? You know, it could even be Stu's mask. But there's just a lot of theories, about Leslie Mocker, the possibility of her coming back. And I do believe that there is a possibility for that to happen. Because a lot of people were already talking about that before with me. I talked about that in many videos about, Leslie Mocker, Stu Mocker's sister. Um, because if you guys don't remember Vince Mocker, that's his mom. So that's Stu's nephew there. So Vince is actually Stu's nephew. Um, so yeah, Leslie Mocker, a lot of people feel that she's going to come back to get revenge. Get revenge on Sydney, get revenge on Gail, whoever. Well, I don't think Gail, but people feel like she's going to come back and get revenge, which I think that that's definitely a possibility. Obviously, we don't know Leslie Mocker. She was never in the Scream films or anything like that. She was never in the Scream films. So we have no idea what she looks like, we don't have any idea what she looks like, and we don't know. Obviously, she never appeared in a Scream film, so we don't know what she looks like. We don't know anything about her. Like, all we know is that she's Stu's sister. So a lot of people keep on saying that she could come back. She could be the actual like mastermind, which I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it, but then again, I want Stu, But it is a possibility that we could get both. I mean, who's to say that Stu and Leslie both ain't killers? You know what I mean? I mean, who's to say that? And a lot of people may say it doesn't make sense or anything like that. I mean, I think it does. Because if you really think about it, if Leslie Mocker turns out to be a killer, she turned out to be a killer probably because of Stu. So, I mean, maybe they want revenge on Sydney, especially Stu. But a lot of people are saying that Leslie Mocker, she wants revenge on Stu, or not on Stu, sorry, on Sydney, right? Well, that would be kind of crazy if she ended up killing her own brother or something. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. I meant her getting revenge on Sydney. So yeah, I think that she could get revenge. A lot of people are saying that she might come back because, again, out for revenge. Maybe she wants revenge on Sydney for killing Stu. Something like that. I don't know. But a lot of people have their own theories. I mean, people can't say it's not a possibility that Stu and Leslie both are in it together, I mean, who's really to say that? Nobody could say that, Stu and Leslie, ain't working together one way or another. I think that they are. I think that they are working together. I definitely think that is definitely a possibility, in my opinion, because they are brother and sister. So I think it makes sense. I definitely think it makes sense. But that's just my opinion on that. So, I mean, a lot of people got their own, their own opinion. A lot of people say that Leslie could come back. A lot of people, we just have a lot of theories, which I love theorizing about Scream. You know, we don't know if Stu's going to come back. We hope he does. But a lot of people are talking about like Neil Prescott, um, Marine Prescott, even. Well, Marine Prescott, I think, is dead. I don't think that she would come back as a killer, but people had that theory that, that she may come back as a killer, which I don't really think so. I don't think that really makes as much sense personally. But if you're going to bring her back, the only way that you're going to bring her back, I think, is to have her be like in a dream sequence or something like a dream sequence or like a flashback scene or something. Um, but I really wouldn't mind her being back or anything. That would be cool if she came back. But I just don't think that her character is alive. I think that her character's sadly, gone. So no, I don't think that Marine Prescott's coming back. I don't think um that she's gonna come back like as a killer or nothing, like people are saying. You know, a lot of people believe that she's gonna come back as a killer, which I don't really believe that or anything. I just don't believe that she's gonna come back as a killer. You know, a lot of people are saying that she wants revenge. She wants to kill basically her own daughter, which I don't really. I mean, I don't really understand that in a way. Like, why she would want to kill her own daughter. Maybe she just wants to for some reason, some weird reason. I don't know. But a lot of people has got their own opinion, their own theories about it, you know, saying that she's gonna come back from the dead and she's gonna go after Sydney again or get revenge on Sydney or something like that, get revenge on her daughter and all that. You know, and I just don't think that she's gonna. Of course, it's just a theory. Everybody wants it to happen, but sadly, it's not gonna happen. You know, Marine Prescott, I think, is dead. Um, the only way that she'll come back is obviously through a dream sequence or a flashback scene. You know, that's really the only way we see her. Um, and then there's another theory about Neil Prescott, which Neil Prescott is obviously Sydney's father, right? Well, people say that he died in between Scream 3 and 4. They don't know how or anything like that. They don't know. We don't know how he died, but supposedly he died in between Scream 3 and 4. And supposedly, this is the theory, okay? So supposedly, people are saying that it's a possibility that he didn't die. That basically he could have faked his death one way or another, and then he could have came back. He could come back as a killer, as well as like the people think about Marine Prescott, which that's another thing that I don't. Like, I really do like that idea. Again, the idea that he did fake his death. I mean, the thing is, though, the same case could be made for Sydney's mother, but again, Sydney's mother got raped to death, and Cotton basically went to jail for that. He basically got framed for that, like, but it was actually Stu and Billy that did it, that killed her. But so yeah, I don't think that she did, but I think it's a possibility that Neil Prescott could have faked his own death in one way or another, and maybe because in between Scream 3 and 4, we don't know how he died. Like, they don't tell us or anything like that. We don't know where the hell he went. Like, I didn't know where he went. Um, because we only saw him in Scream 3. We only saw him in Scream 3, and that was his last like film that we saw. We didn't see him even in Scream 2. But we saw him in Scream 3, and that was the last film that we saw. That was the last time we saw him. We didn't really see him much. He was only in Scream 1996 and Scream 3, but after that, we didn't know what happened to him. All of a sudden, he didn't appear again. He didn't appear in Scream 4. He didn't appear, like that was basically Scream 3 was his last like appearance. So then I kind of, I found out that he died in between Scream 3 and 4. So I was like, oh, that's weird. I wonder how, though. I wonder how. Obviously, he didn't die. He died off screen, so it wasn't on, it wasn't on screen or nothing. Um, but yeah, he secretly died. Like, I guess in between 3 and 4. But the theory is that he really didn't, and that he will come back as a killer, which I love that theory as well. But again, I don't think that you should bring anybody else back other than Stu. I mean, if you want to have him maybe a part of like Stu's cult or something like that, that would be something totally different, in my opinion. But if you're gonna bring him back, just him as a killer and not Stu, no, I don't think that's gonna work. Honestly, you know. Um, but everyone's got their own opinions. A lot of people say Neil Prescott is a killer. Basically that he was a killer and that he wanted revenge on Sydney, which I think that's a possibility that he could have got revenge on Sydney. Um, any of that is possible. That he wants revenge on Sydney for some. I'm not saying that it can't happen, but again, I mean, I definitely like that theory because he wasn't around. Like, nobody knew like what the hell happened to him. Until I found out that he died in between Scream 3 and 4. And I was like, wow. So he just died and they didn't really give us an indication like how. Like, I mean, sometimes you got characters that die off screen and that you don't know that they died, but they really, um so yeah, it's very interesting. Like, a lot of people believe that Stu's gonna come back. Well, a lot of people believe that Neil Prescott could come back, and get revenge on Sydney for some reason. Maybe he's not her real father. Isn't that something? Imagine if Neil Prescott is not Sydney's real father, and that was her like fake father or something like that. Basically, like her stepdad, and not her real dad. And all of a sudden, he came back and he wanted to all of a sudden like kill her or something like that. Now that would be crazy because they say that um he is her dad. So I mean, nobody can say that's not a possibility that he's not her dad or that she's yeah. I mean, nobody can say that's not possible. I mean, people. What's to say that Maureen Prescott, right? Her mother lied about Neil Prescott being Sydney's dad. What's to say that? That's a theory, right? That's a theory that I have in mind. What's to say that Maureen Prescott told, obviously, got Sydney to believe that Neil Prescott was her real father, but it turns out that he wasn't. Now that would be something that would be interesting. Like if he wasn't her father, like so then all of a sudden he comes back, he's Ghostface or something, and he's with Stu or something like in his like cold or something like that. I mean that's very interesting. Like I personally like that idea. I definitely do. I mean a lot of people don't like that idea, but I definitely do. You know. Um, so yeah, there's that theory, and then there's a theory about maybe somebody related to Roman, possibly. There's so much theories out there, you know. A lot of people the biggest one that I heard though was the Leslie Mocker theory, which that's a definite possibility. Um, but yeah, like a lot of people just don't really know, like if Sydney or if like nobody really knows anything about Neil Prescott. All we know is that he's the father of Sydney, supposed father, anyways. We don't really know if he's 100% her father, but I mean, it could all just be this one big lie, you know? And maybe, Sydney got lied to like all along, you know? So I mean that's definitely a possibility as well. So I mean I don't rule out that theory. Is it gonna happen? Most likely not. More than likely not. But it's definitely something to talk about. It gives you something to talk about. It gets you speculating. Um, oh, we got somebody else in here. What's going on, Scott Walker? How you doing, man? How's it going, my friend? Sorry, I'm late. I had to do some hospital connect my TV and get my dog in a bath. Sorry, I'm late. Oh no, that's fine. I appreciate you coming in. And yeah, sorry about last night. I was as I was telling the chat earlier before when I started, I know I didn't plan this out or anything. Um, but last night I was really tired, so I had to get off really early. But I feel better now, so I got a lot of rest, so I feel a hell of a lot better. So I decided to go live again to retry because I owe you another stream since I got off early last night. But yeah, I'm just talking about the Neil Prescott theory that Neil Prescott supposedly died in between Scream 3 and 4, and that he could possibly be coming back as a killer to get revenge on Sydney because maybe he's not really Sydney's father. Um, I talked about that many times. I think I actually made a video about that as well, like how I believe that I don't believe that there's a possibility that he may not be Sydney's father. So that would give him motives for some reason to, kill her or something. Like, so I talked about there's just so many theories that are like so many theories. Of course, that may not happen. We all know it may not happen, but it's definitely a possibility that we could get that. We could definitely get something to where he does come back. He gets revenge on Sydney. He really didn't die. That's a definite possibility. There's just no way in hell that people could say that it isn't. I mean, we don't know anything about Sydney's father. We don't know anything about him other than that we were told that he was Sydney's father, right? But the only thing is that what if he's not? That's just another thing, like that he may not be her father. He may be again just a stepdad or something like that, not her real father, like her blood father, you know. I think the only three Scream characters and actors that can save the Scream franchise, that is Nev Campbell and Matthew Lillard and maybe Patrick Dempsey. They're the only three that could save Scream 7. Oh yeah, I think so too, because if they don't bring Nev Campbell back and Nev Campbell decides not to come back, I definitely 100% don't believe that Scream 7 is going to be a great film. I definitely think you do need Sydney. You do need Patrick Dempsey in it. I've been talking about Patrick Dempsey coming back, for a while. I really do want to see him back. It depends on what he's doing. But I definitely do think that they're the only ones really, because without them, without Nev Campbell, without Matthew Lillard and Patrick Dempsey, as you were saying, I don't think the film would be as good because all you really got is Gale, and I mean we don't really got Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega are not going to be in the film no more, so they're not in the film because Melissa Barrera got fired and Jenna Ortega's doing other projects. But so yeah, I mean you definitely, I think that you need Sydney in the film because again you don't really have a final girl in there, and you don't really have another story. You really don't got any other story to tell, at this point without Sam and Tara. So I think that Patrick Dempsey coming back, I said that that's a possibility because again he is the husband of Sydney. So I've been saying that he could come back. We could see him again. That's only if he's down, to come back. Even if it's just a cameo. I mean, a lot of people want to see him back and a lot of people want to see him be in like the whole film, which I do as well. Like I want him to be in the whole film, I want him to be to be a part of the whole movie. But if they do give us a cameo and we just see him at least for just a little bit and then he disappears, I mean, hey, I guess we got to see him, but at the same time, that'd be cool if he was in the whole film. And in some way he got involved, with the Ghostface killings again, you know. So I definitely think that could be a great idea because again, we know that he is the husband of Sydney, and you would think that they would have showed him at least a little bit, you know. Um, but obviously, it's all up to Patrick Dempsey. It's all up to depends on what he's doing in terms of like projects and all that during that time. You know, he was supposed to be in Scream 4. I don't know if you knew that, but he was supposed to be in Scream 4, but I guess he turned it down because he was doing other projects during that time. So, yeah, I think it would be cool for him to come back. He's another character that I want to see because, again, we didn't get to see him. He was in Scream 3. That was the last. We didn't see him after Scream 3 again. So, but yeah, he was supposed to be in Scream 4. Um, he was supposed to be. But yeah. Um, and then there's another theory that I want to talk about. There is a um, what you call it? So there, I said a guy. Sorry, guys. Um, take two. I meant Cotton. The theory about Cotton. Okay, I don't know if you heard of it before, but there is a theory that he supposedly didn't die in Scream 3. Now, I don't believe that for a lot of reasonings. Um, Number one, because I think that he obviously got stabbed multiple times, which we've seen people get stabbed multiple times in the Scream franchise before that lived, I guess, like Chad. Like Chad got stabbed a whole bunch of times and he still lived. So I mean, I'm not saying that's not possible, but I mean, a lot of people have theories about him possibly not like being dead, like him not being dead, like, which I think that's a crazy, like, I never really thought about that theory before about him not being dead, like, um, but a lot of people believe that he's also maybe a ghost face killer as well, that he may come back as a killer or something like that as well. There's just a lot of theories out there about him. There's a lot of theories about like Randy as well, but the main one is this theory. I heard this on a video. I heard somebody talk about the theory on a video, and um, it was pretty interesting. And of course, it's just a theory. It's not 100%. People just have their own theories about if he died or not, if he's still alive, if he's not dead. Um, so a lot of people have their own theories. But personally, I don't think that he's alive because, again, I don't think Wes Craven ever had any intentions to bring him back like he did like Stu and like he did Randy. But who really knows, right? I mean, I guess you never say never. My dog ran hates bass. That's why it took so long. Oh, it's okay, man. Like I said yesterday, what do you think of that idea that they found another video of Randy Okay, remember that Stu is alive. Oh my god, dude, that would be so awesome. And yeah, and I was also talking about how Randy, um, how Randy possibly knew that Stu was alive as well before he got killed off. And I definitely do believe that. And I definitely believe that Dewey knew. And I actually just talked about that just now about Dewey possibly knowing that, Stu was alive. Um, I definitely do believe it. I definitely think that he knew. He had to have known because he was speaking on Stu in the present tense. So I was just talking about that a little bit ago before you popped in about how Dewey possibly knew that Stu was alive. And I also think that Randy knew as well. I think Randy knows. I think he knew before he got killed as well. Like, so that's just my theory. But yeah, that would be interesting. I heard a theory going around that it wasn't Miss Loomis, Billy's mother, who killed Randy. It was Stu. I heard somebody saying it on the internet. Oh yeah, and I heard that as well because I heard that because of the size again. Okay, if Miss Loomis was the one that killed Randy, how was she able to manhandle Randy the way that she did? You know, and I've never really believed that. I never believed that she was the one that actually killed him because, again, she's literally. We talk about the size and all. We talk about how girls aren't as strong as guys. I mean, they aren't. They just aren't. You know, and nothing against girls. I just don't think that they're as. I don't think they're as strong as men are. Like, so that's. I definitely think that's a possibility because, again, she was. If you mean to tell me that Miss Loomis is going to be able to manhandle him like that? No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that she would be able to manhandle him in that manner. Like, so kind of similar with the Dewey situation, as I was saying, how Dewey was manhandling, he was getting manhandled, you know. So I definitely think that's a possibility that Stu, was Randy's real killer. Maybe he killed Randy. You know. I just wanted to tell you you're going to laugh about this. My fiance and my sister are both stronger than me, which I hate. Oh, that's all right, man. That's all right. I guess. Hey, I mean, I guess some girls, I guess, are really strong. But I'm just saying most girls aren't. Nothing against girls again. Nothing against girls. But a lot of them, I think men have like more like adrenaline. You know what I mean? Like they're able to do, stuff that girls can't do, which is lift like heavier stuff and heavier, you know, to beat on other, men, So I'm not saying that there's no strong girls out there. There definitely is. I mean, there's girls out there that could legitimately beat a man's ass, but I'm not. I definitely don't like Miss Loomis. Is just not. She's not the type of girl that I would say that. Oh, would she be able to? She would be able to kick my ass or something. Like no. Same with Amber. Like there's just no way. Who was the ghost face in Scream One outside Dewey's house, and who was the ghost face in the supermarket? Um, so you're talking about that scene when Sydney's at Dewey's house or whatever, and she's talking to the killer on the phone. I think that was Stu, and the reason why I think that was Stu is because Billy wasn't around. Obviously, Billy was in jail, so that didn't really make sense. So I think that was definitely Stu talking to her on the phone. But in the supermarket scene, okay, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I think that was actually Roman. I definitely think that was Roman because Stu and Billy wasn't anywhere around. I think they were actually getting ready for um they were getting ready for the party or whatever. So that wouldn't be realistic for that to be them. So I definitely think that Roman, especially if he was the mastermind behind Scream 1996, then you gotta. It's the most realistic, theory that he was in the film, that he was there watching Sydney, and I think that he was. I think that he was watching Sydney. And a lot of people say that Roman wasn't even established. He wasn't even established during that time. But at the same time, where like he was the mastermind of Screen 1996. You know what I mean? I love my sister very much, but sometimes she can be overprotective. Oh yeah, I understand. Yeah, I definitely got family that are as well. So yeah, that's definitely a definite possibility that Roman was in Scream 1996 because again, he's the mastermind. If he's the mastermind, he's most definitely probably a lot of people are saying that he wasn't even in Woodsboro during that time, but I don't. I think that's a lie. I think he was. That's just my theory. And then that ghost face that attacked Sydney in the bathroom scene. I definitely think that was also. I think that was also Roman. What about the scene in Scream One? Sydney and Tatum talk outside in the front yard. Yeah, that's also. I think that's also Roman because again, how like okay, we could say that it's Billy, and maybe it was Billy because he killed Principal Henry or whatever, and then after that, we see that scene. We see him in the woods. So I definitely think that it's either number one Billy or Roman because again, it's not Stu because Stu was getting ready for the party or getting ready for he wasn't around. So I think it could have been Roman, it could have been Billy, but I definitely think that Billy makes the most sense in that part. But I definitely think in the grocery store scene, that was definitely Roman. And also that bathroom scene when Sydney gets attacked. So yeah, I definitely think that that was Billy because again, like I'm not saying that I'm not saying that it couldn't be Roman. I mean, it's a possibility that it can be. Um, but now thinking about it, if you really think about it, right, Billy, Billy Loomis, right? Billy was actually in the high. He killed the principal, and then right after that scene, that's when you see him in the woods. So that's why I believe that it was Billy in that part, but I think it was definitely. I think Stu was the one that was, or not Stu. I think Roman was the one in the grocery store, in the supermarket scene. Like when you see him in the, I think he was spying on Sydney and Tatum in that scene. When Screen 7 comes out, if it does, I'm going to wear my scream robe and the and mask to movie cinema if they let me do. You think that would let me do it, or do you think you won't? Uh, I mean, they used to. I think a long time ago, they used to actually let you. I think a long time ago, I think when Scream 1996 came out, I think that they actually did something like that where they like give out, they basically give out like, they basically like give you like a robe and like a mask and all that. Like they used to let you do all that. I think, especially when Scream 1996, when that film came out, um, they would actually like give you like souvenirs and all that. That's what I had heard, but I don't know how true that is. But yeah, I actually heard that they used to give people souvenirs and whatnot, like for like when it first came out, like when Scream 1996 came out. Um, but that was a long time ago. Like, so I don't know if they do that now. I don't they don't do that in my area, so I don't think that they do it anymore personally. But who really knows? Who was the ghost face that killed Tatum in the garage door scream? If it was Stu, why would he kill his girl? Well, there's a lot of other theories about that as well because I don't really think that it was Stu. And the reason why I don't is because, again, Stu was inside. He was inside the house. So, therefore, I don't think that he would be able to teleport like in that way. I mean, it's possible, but I think that it was Billy because when after she gets killed, right? Billy comes, he teleports, and he's all of a sudden like in the front of the house. Like he comes out of nowhere and just it's basically like a jump scare. Like that's what it basically was. But yeah, he was basically like in he was like there, like he teleported, you know? It's like he went out the garage door or something and teleported to the front. Like so it's just like I don't like that's why I think it was definitely Billy because you don't see Billy after before that scene anywhere. Like you see him right after she gets killed. So I think that a lot of people also say it could also be Roman as well because like how would Billy be able to teleport like that and that fast? I mean, yeah, that's a good point, but at the same time, I mean, who really knows, right? I mean, A lot of people are saying that Roman was in the film, but I do think that it was Billy, 100%. I don't think it was Stu because again, Stu was in the house, so. In the supermarket, seeing where it goes for he was in the freezer. He was out of the freezer. He was actually behind him. So yeah, he was actually out of the freezer. Like he was behind him. Like he was out. Like he was. Yeah, he wasn't inside the freezer. There's just no way. I heard a theory months ago. Stu himself it stays out back door. Or there is deleted scenes of him in the ambulance stretcher with a neck brace on. You heard that before? I've never heard that. I've never heard that at all. So that's even more evidence that he's alive. Then, if that theory is true, that theory is true. He's 100% still alive. Like nobody's gonna tell me different. Because why would he be on a stretcher with a neck brace? You know. I mean, that's even more proof. If there was a deleted scene of that, like that's even more proof. But yeah, there's just a lot of theories out there, man. You know, there's a lot of theories about, maybe Roman has a son as well. I mean, there's a lot of theories out there. There's a theory that um, obviously Angelina obviously was the second killer, which I believe she was in Scream 3. That she could come back still. Still, I think that she could still. I mean, a lot of people feel like it's too late in the game at this point. But I definitely don't think it's late in the game. I definitely don't think it's late in the game. You know, I think you could still bring her back. She doesn't have to be a killer or nothing like that. Like, she could be just like a background character. As I was saying, she doesn't necessarily need to be a Ghostface killer. But if you did bring her back, that would be cool if she was. I mean, but she doesn't necessarily have to be. She could be like a background character to where like she's basically like standing around or something, and like Sydney basically sees her or whatever, and whatnot. Maybe like the Meeks twins or something, like see her or something. I don't know, something like that. You know, I mean, you don't really have to make her a killer. She could be like a weird kind of character, just kind of standing around. You know, like. But that would be cool. I think that would be kind of cool though if she was like a killer, like she like on mask and we actually seen her, on mask. I mean, either or is fine with me, but I just want to see her back because again, I don't think that she died. So I definitely don't think so. And then also Parker Posey's character Jennifer, um, she wants to come back as well. So, is there a possibility that her character survived? I definitely think so because again, we don't see her get stabbed at all. We don't see her. We only see her like get stabbed like once, and then she died. You know, so I mean, it's. I mean, is it realistic enough that for her character to come back? Yeah, it is. Because again, you only get stabbed once. I mean, you're basically you're gonna come back. You could cut. Yeah, it's not impossible. Anybody can survive one stab. Um, being stabbed once, it's not really life threatening or anything like that. I mean, anybody could survive that. You know. So, and then I think Dewey accidentally shot her, but so I think that she could come back. Which I already heard that she wants to come back. So, which I think that she could, because again, she didn't really. She only got stabbed once, so therefore, if she got stabbed once, she's more than likely still alive and not dead at all. Like so, they just made it look like she was. Who really knows what will happen? But her character, the actor wants, her character, she wants to come back. So, which her Parker Posey wants her character to come back. But yeah, there's definitely a possibility. There's a lot of other characters that we want to see return. Um, obviously Kenny the cameraman. Um, so Kenny the cameraman, obviously, or not Kenny. I'm thinking of not Kenny the cameraman. Sorry, guys. Kenny the cameraman got killed. He got his throat slashed, so he's more than likely dead. But I'm talking about man. Why the hell why did I forget? Like, how in the world do I forget? Kenny the cameraman's dead. He got his throat slashed. So he's dead. 100%. There's no doubt about it. No doubt in my mind because he got his throat slashed. So I'm talking about the cameraman in Scream 2. Why the hell am I forgetting it? I know this. I know who he is. I've watched the Scream movie so many times. Duane Martin, the guy who plays the cameraman in Scream 2. Joel the cameraman, Joel. That's right. I don't know why the hell I forgot. I kept saying Kenny. So Joel is another character that I want to see back. Joel's another character I want to see to come back, and he said that the actor has said that he wants to come back as well. So, I mean, it's a possibility because we didn't see him. He's not dead. He obviously didn't get killed. Um, he was actually the smartest character, I believe, because he was the only one that got away and left. Left town. You know, he didn't want to get killed or anything, so he was pretty smart. I think he was like the smartest character in the Scream franchise. But yeah, I definitely think that he could come back. Um, and I also was saying that he could be the father of the Meeks twins, which that's a possibility as well. So, like I said earlier in Scream 1, after Stu pushed the TV off of himself, he escaped out the back door. How could you get around with his face badly hurt if he did escape? Well, that's the thing. I mean, we don't really know anything about like how he did it. I mean, okay, one thing's for certain. Electricity is not going to come out from the front of the TV. There's just no way. If it's going to come out, if there's going to be electricity, it's going to come out from the back more than the front. So his face might be a little damaged. He might have like scars and all that from, the TV, hitting his face. But he definitely did not get electrocuted because, again, TVs, electricity is not going to be able to flow, in the front of the glass like that, like paddles. Like, there's just no way. I think it's more likely that it will flow in the back of the TV. So yeah, I don't really know. I don't really know how. I don't really know how he, like, what happened to his face. I think he's got scars all over his face. I said that if he does come back, he's got to have scars. It makes the most sense because it shows that his face got messed up from the TV. So I really don't know how he escaped. If that's what you're asking me, you're saying that, like, how could he get around with his face badly hurt? Well, he could have had help. Who really knows? And maybe Roman was the one that helped him, because I was also talking about Roman possibly not only being a Scream 1996, but also helping like Stu like escape. You know, and if he helped Stu escape, that would make a lot of sense because, again, like you're saying, if his face was badly hurt, how would he be able to? I mean, I understand, but he could have had help, and also he wasn't that badly hurt. I don't think, especially if he lifted the TV off of his face, off himself. So I definitely don't think that it was he was that hurt to where he couldn't escape. Like, maybe he got a little banged up, but I don't think it was that bad. Honestly, he lifted the TV up like off of his face. No, I don't think it was that bad personally, but I do think that he will have scars, and I think that he should. He definitely should have scars. But I don't know, man. That's an interesting question. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff happening. We don't really know what character, who's going to come back. There could be some surprises. People that we do know from past films that could come back, like Joel, Jennifer, um, Mark Kincaid. You know, we could have surprise characters that could come back, and I don't really know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens, right? But it's definitely a possibility. And we could also see Angelina, which I'm like, do I think Angelina is going to truly return? No, not at this point. Not at this point, but um, I definitely think that she could, you know? And it's something that they could think about and they should think about because, again, I don't know if Wes Craven had any ideas to bring her back in any way, but um, he may have. We just don't really know. I mean, I don't really know if he had any plans of that, but I definitely think it's a thing that it's something that needs to happen. That'd be cool if it happened in the future, like you know, um, because again, I don't think that she died. I don't think that she got killed at all. I definitely think that she was Roman's partner, and I do think that she is alive. I don't think she's dead because, again, if you look on the official kill list on Scream 3, like she's not even on that list. Like she's the only character in the franchise that never appeared on the list to that said that they basically had like a list of who died or whatever, and Angelina is the only character that wasn't on the list. So that tells you something. If she's not on the list, well, there's something to that. Like she's got to be alive still. Like when Amber was killed, what do you think this is going to happen to the house? How do you think it'll be abandoned? Do you think it was for sale, or do you think it was, I don't really know, honestly. I really don't know. It'll probably be boarded up. But if they're gonna bring Stu, that's basically Stu's house. So if they're gonna bring Stu's house, if they're gonna bring Stu back, they'll probably end up boarding. Basically, maybe that house will be boarded up. And then maybe they'll actually go to the original Stu house, from Stream 1996. Um, So yeah, I definitely did that. That's definitely a possibility. It could be for sale, but I don't really think that it will be for sale. I definitely think it will be abandoned for sure. Um, Especially if they do bring back, because I was saying that they need to bring back the original house from Scream 1996. Um, because Amber's house is basically like a replica of Stu's house. It's not the original. So if they brought back the original house from Scream 1996, then yeah, I would say they'll probably board. The house will probably be boarded up. You know, so yeah. I want the actual suit. Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah, I said that I want the original, the actual original house, not a replica like in Scream 6 and 5, or not in Scream 6, but in 5. Um, yeah, I definitely don't want a replica. If they're gonna bring Stu's house back, it needs to be the original. They got to try to get the original. And I think that would be pretty cool. Why do you think the owners of Stu's house went to let? Oh, so they didn't let them film there, I guess, because either it was because of COVID or it was because of money. But I think it was because of COVID during that time. And maybe they didn't really want, maybe the owners didn't want them to film there. I don't know. Maybe it had to do with money, maybe they didn't have enough money to film there. I don't know. But yeah, that's a good question. I really don't know. Could have been it could have been both. Out of all the Scream locations in the Scream franchise, how come Stu's house is the most popular? The reason why it's the most popular is because it's in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's not even in like a neighborhood or anything like that. It's by like a whole bunch of like woods, and it's not. There's like no neighbors, no nothing. It's just one house. And it's basically like there's like a whole bunch of trees around it, like so. There's like nothing like by it. So I think that's the reason why it's so popular. It's kind of like the Michael Myers house, except for I think Stu's house is more creepy because again, it's not in the neighborhood, so it's in, it's just sitting there by itself, surrounded by a whole bunch of trees. I think that's more creepier than it's more creepier than Michael Myers' house, in my opinion, because again, it's not Michael Myers. His house is basically in the neighborhood, by a whole bunch of other houses. So, but this house is like sitting by itself in the woods. So I think that's the reason why it's so popular. It's probably the most creepiest like location probably in the Scream franchise. And it's more creep. I think it's more creepier than the Halloween than Michael Myers' house. But yeah, I think that's why it's so famous. And obviously because it was, like nobody would want to stay there at night by yourself. There's just no way I would. There's no way that I would actually stay there by myself. I mean, you could pay me $1 million, and I don't think that I will do it still because it's so creepy. You know, I mean, it's surrounded literally by trees, and there's nothing else around it. I mean, who would want to stay at that house? Like nobody. I probably wouldn't even, like I was saying, somebody could pay me $1 million to stay in that house, and I wouldn't do it. I'm sorry, I just can't. There's just no way. It had Stu's TVs and Scream 6. Or it had Stu's TV and Scream 6. If you look very closely, you can see his face print, and you can see the blood from the TV and the impact of it. Oh yeah. Yep. I seen that as well, and I also seen his the outfit that he was wearing, that sweater that he was wearing when he got that TV thrown on him. Yeah, there's just so much Easter eggs, you know. Could you find out for me why the owners didn't film there? Yes, I can actually. I have my phone with me right now. I could look it up 100% because I'm not 100% like it could have been for money reasons. Maybe they couldn't afford to film there, but it could have also been because of COVID. Sorry, I'm trying to look and see if I could find anything for you. Cause yeah, I don't really know like why. Honestly, like why they even. And a lot of people are saying that maybe Amber was related to Stu as well because Stu was. Um, People are saying that Stu could be related to Amber. Huh. Yeah, I definitely think that Amber could be related to Stu because I mean, what would be the reasoning for living there? I mean, that was Stu's old house, and you could say it's not really the original house, but it basically is. They're acting like it was, so. Okay, I got something interesting. I've been thinking about that. This. I don't think it was Amber that attacked Chad. I think it was Liv behaving in how angry she was. Oh yeah, I definitely think so as well because yeah, that one scene again. Yeah, she was pretty angry at him. So I definitely think so. I'm trying to find a. I'm trying to find it for you, man. I can't seem to find why, but it's kind of weird. Oh, okay. I think it was because of money, and I think it was also because the owners maybe just there was somebody that bought that house. I think the original house, and I guess they didn't want them to evade their privacy. I don't know. So maybe that could have been it from what it sounds, anyways. I mean, that's what it sounds like. That's what they're saying, anyways. I don't really know. I think that could be it. I think it was because the owners. It was either because of COVID. It could have been both. Maybe they didn't want anybody to film there because of COVID. Because obviously the owners, live there. There's people that live there now, so maybe they just wanted to didn't want them to film there. I don't know. I think that could have been it. So I think that's why they built a replica because of that reasoning. That's just my opinion on that. Um, because again, if there's owners that live there, They probably don't want anybody to. They probably don't want anybody to. They probably didn't want anybody to like. I guess invade like their privacy or something. They probably just COVID was going on probably too. It could have been a majority. It could have been any of that. It could have been money. They're probably trying to social distance from people, so they probably didn't want anybody to film there. But yeah, that's definitely a something that they definitely need to try to film there this time around if they're gonna bring Stu back. But yeah, it's very interesting, man. Very interesting. Well, yeah, I definitely think that Amber was. I definitely think that Amber was related to Stu one way or another. I believe that's a definite possibility. I definitely think that she could have been related to him in some way. Maybe she's. I would say maybe her. Maybe his. Maybe nephew or something or niece. Sorry. I know Vince is his nephew, but what if Amber was like related to him? Maybe like his cousin or something like that. Or because again, like why would she live? Like why would she live in Stu's house? You know? And I have a lot of theories about that, you know? I think that Stu is either related to her or she's just living there because maybe she didn't really know. You know what I mean? But I definitely think that she was related. She had to have been related to Stu one way or another because she lived there, right? So, and they kind of like lured her and Richie. I think even Richie knew that Stu was alive, and I think Amber knew as well. Because if you notice, Richie was actually like luring, Sam and Tara, to that house. So, like towards the end. But yeah, Stu definitely knew, man. Or not Stu. Um, Richie. I think Richie most definitely knew Stu was alive, and probably Amber too. As I was saying, I think all the killers knew. I think Roman knew. I think Mickey knew. I think Roman definitely knew because, again, I think he was the one that helped him escape the house. Um, but I think all the killers basically like knew one way or another. Like, if it was that, then if that was Liv that did attack Chad, what are the things? Why is damn it? I needed one when she was rude. And then anybody she did not get along with. But yeah, she didn't. No, she didn't. So I don't really know, honestly. Maybe it's just one of those things that where she just wanted to, kill him. You know. But yeah, I've always thought that that's a definitely positive. I always thought that she was kind of weird in the film. Like, thought she was one of the killers. Like all like, I'm not saying again. Maybe, of course, she didn't get revealed as a killer, but I think that she was the one that attacked Chad, like you were saying. It had to have been either that or Stu, but I definitely think it could have been Liv, 100%. But yeah, it's definitely a possibility, and I really don't know what they're gonna. I mean, of course, they're probably not gonna show us, but I wish they would. You know, if they are legitimately going with that idea, though, like they had to. I don't think that they're gonna show us, obviously, but they kind of gave us a lot of clues on who it was. You know, so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they showed us a little something. I guess. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of theories, like I was saying about like Liv, that she was one of the killers, like all along, like in the film, which I think that could be possible as well. But again, I don't. I'm not saying that she killed Dewey because again, it definitely wasn't a girl. But I'm saying like when you see the killer like teleporting, like at the end, I think that's definitely a possibility there. Because again, Richie was in the basement and definitely wasn't him, right? So I think she was the one that attacked Mindy, honestly, because again, she didn't get along with her, like you were saying. So I think that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, it's very interesting. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of theories out there, about um, Sydney like being okay. And this is probably the stupidest theory I've ever heard, and I'm pretty sure that you heard it before, and it's that Sydney is somehow the killer. Okay, and that's the dumbest theory that I've ever heard. Number one, because why would she be the killer? She's been the final girl since the first Scream film. Like, why would you then turn around and make her and say that she's a killer now? Like, all of a sudden, like that doesn't make any sense. So that's probably the number one theory that I don't like. I think that's the stupidest theory, probably the dumbest theory that I've ever heard. Um, because again, why in the hell would she want to be like? Why would she be a killer for? Like, why? Like, I don't understand that. Like, you mean to tell me that she's been the killer again? If she was the killer, she was Ghostface. She would have already killed. I think she would have already killed Mark Kincaid. She would have already killed her own damn kids already, in my opinion. So it doesn't make any sense. All of a sudden now she's just evil. Like, and of course it's just a theory out there that people believe that she's just gonna miraculously be the killer. Like, no, she's not gonna be the killer. Well, I hope not, anyways, because again, like, why in the world would you make the final girl the killer for? You're basically shitting on not only Wes Craven's legacy, but you're shitting on Nev Campbell's legacy. You're shitting on Sidney Prescott, like the character. They're basically ruining what Wes Craven, made. Wes Craven would have never made Sidney the killer. He would have never did that. Like, so that would be absolutely stupid. That would make people so upset. People would walk out of the theater. You know, that's one way to piss people off is to make Sidney the killer. Like, you know, I just hope it doesn't happen. I mean, we don't really know any like anybody could do any like of the new producers, new directors, nowadays they could do some stupid shit like that. Um, I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. But again, I really don't think it's a dumb, it's a stupid idea, you know. And that's one way to piss your audience off, like including me. Like, I would be so pissed if they did that because again, you're basically shitting on her. You're basically shitting on her legacy. You're shitting on Wes Craven's legacy. He's the one that came up with the Sydney character, right? So you're basically shitting on him if you decide to make her the killer. Like, when she's actually the final girl. So I just don't think that it's just a stupid idea. It's probably the dumbest idea that I've ever heard in my life. Because again, like, why in the world would you make a final girl the killer for? It's like That doesn't make any sense. You know, it's kind of like with Jamie Lee. It's like making Jamie Lee like Michael Myers, like for no reason. It's like making Laurie Strode Michael Myers. That'd be dumb, right? That would absolutely be dumb. It's like making the final girl. It's like making Tina and Friday the 13th like Jason or something. You know what I mean? It's dumb. It's like making the final girl of Nightmare on Elm Street like Freddy for absolutely no reason. Like, so that's why I have a problem with it. Because again, she's a final girl, and you don't need to make her a killer. And again, I'm not saying that they will, but we don't know anybody could do any. There's a lot of people out here, a lot of directors and producers that do stupid shit like that. So, I mean, I would hope that they wouldn't do that. I hope that Sydney wouldn't be down with that. Or Neff Campbell. And I don't really know. I don't really know how she would feel about that personally. But it's just a stupid idea, man. That's one way to ruin the movies is to make the final girl a killer. Like what? Like, come on. That's the stupidest theory I've ever heard in my life. I don't think Liv really loved Chad. Oh yeah, I don't think so either because she seemed pretty pissed at him. Like that's why I think she attacked him. Christopher Landon, I wonder what he was saying to Matthew Lillard on Twitter. He reached out to him on Twitter a while ago. Maybe he was asking him to do Scream 7. Oh, dude, if that's the case, I truly believe that they know each other. Like I'm 100% like I have a feeling that he's basically has talked to him already. Like they basically like worked out like a deal. He's probably already like doing it. I hope so. Of course, it's just speculation, but I think Liv was skank. She was always using him. She didn't get along with anybody out there. Was in the house, but she didn't really go to visit. She didn't really care. Yeah, she didn't. No, she was kind of like a skank, like you were saying. She was a skank. She was actually a whore too. Sorry for saying it, but um, I think she was like a dirty whore. Sorry for my language, but she kind of was. She was a skank and a whore. I'm sorry for my language, but yeah, I think she's a dirty. I think she's a skank, also a dirty whore. She's definitely a whore because she didn't really love she didn't really love Chad like that. You know what I mean? So that makes her a whore in my eyes. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of interesting, theories out there about a lot of theories that we love to talk about. That's what makes Scream so fun is that we could come up with theories, you know, basically speculate and just make up our own theories, about certain stuff, you know, and that's what makes it so great is that we can make up our own theories and kind of speculate with each other. That's why I like Scream so much because you could come up with like theories, how much of something to talk about. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't bring up anything like in Halloween or Friday the 13th, but those theories you don't really. I don't really know anything about Halloween like that, like in terms of like theory wise. Um, yeah, I know a little bit, but not as much as I do Scream. Like, if they didn't kill off Liv, do you see a lot of trying to get a storyline for Chad and Liv, both girls fighting? So, can you imagine a fight between the two? On his Ghostface. Yeah, I definitely think that she probably was Ghostface though, even though that she didn't get revealed as Ghostface. I 100% believe that she was. That she had to have attacked, Chad in that scene. You know, I believe so, anyways. Because again, um, you really don't have, there's just so much evidence, too much evidence. She got pissed off at Chad, and then after she got pissed off, all of a sudden Ghostface, you know, attacks him out of nowhere, like, and he was actually looking for her, and then all of a sudden there's the killer comes out, attacks him or whatever. So yeah, I do think that she was the one. She was definitely the one that attacked him. She was the one that was attacking Mindy. You tell me, Jen, I did not like her. She was rude to me. She was rude to my fiance. She was that one that bought me for her sunscreen. And I showed 16. I don't like Jen. You don't like Jen? Well, maybe it's because you're probably not you're probably like trolling. You know, you can't be trolling like that. You can't be like trying to freak people out or anything. You just talk and theorize with each other. And she probably got freaked out by it. Probably is all. That's probably why she did it. I mean, you can't be trolling people. Like everybody wants to be cool with each other. Everyone wants to, be nice to each other. And I'm nice. I try to be nice with everyone. But if I see something in the chat, you know, I have to say something, of course, because it's my channel. So but yeah, so But yeah, we all need to get along. You know, everybody needs to just get along. You know, with each other in the community. You know, especially you, man. You can't be trolling people. And I've been saying that to you for a while. Can't be trolling people. Can't be creeping people out or anything like that. Because people feel creeped out by you, probably. My dad bought me a new TV. It's big. Oh, nice. Yeah, I got a Roku TV. I'm gonna say it's probably I'm gonna say probably 50-inch TV, probably, or a 40-inch. I think mine's a 50-inch, but it's a Roku, so I get to watch Netflix. I got YouTube TV. I got also, I don't know if you heard of Tubi. Um, there's this app called Tubi on there. You can basically watch absolutely any film that you want. Like I suggest that you try it out. You don't have to buy anything. You can go on there. You can watch anything you want. Movies, you know. You got TV shows on there that are free to watch. You got a whole bunch of other movies on there that you could watch for. You don't have to pay any money. Um, I actually came across it a while back. You don't have to pay for a subscription. You don't have to do anything. You can just watch a movie, watch any movie on there for free. I suggest you try it out because it's definitely well worth it. My TV is a 64-inch. Wow, yeah, that's a giant TV. I want to get a big TV like that eventually too, but I think I'm good with the one I have for now. Um, but eventually, like after using this TV that I have, I want to get like a bigger one, like a big one, like um, eventually at some point. Like right now, I think I'm good with the TV that I have because my TV that I have is pretty. It's a pretty nice size, I would say. It's not bad at all. You know, maybe it's not as big as I want it to be, but I don't need big. You know, I don't need like gigantic or anything. Um, but my TV is pretty nice. It's a nice Roku. I got it for Christmas. Could watch anything on there. Got Netflix. You got Hulu, which I don't have a Hulu account, but I do got Netflix, and also that Tubi TV or Tubi or whatever that where you could watch free films, free TV shows, and whatnot. Got obviously Peacock obviously as well. So I mean, I got a whole bunch of apps on there. I got the YouTube TV obviously where I basically get all the channels. I pay $60 a month for it though, but I mean I think that's better than getting the actual like cable box because again you don't have to worry about getting a cable box or like a box, an actual like box or anything. That takes a lot of time to set up. It's easier just to get, a subscription like that, because you don't need a box or anything. It's a lot easier. Um, but that's what I got. I got YouTube TV. You get, you basically get every single channel. Like I got all the channels on there, so that probably explains why it's so expensive. But you know, it's well worth it though. You get all the channels. You don't need to get a box or anything like that. Shit. I think it's the easiest way to watch TV. You know, because you don't need a remote either. You already got, you don't need a box. You know, just go on and click on the app. There you go. You're watching TV. You're watching live TV. So that's why I prefer it. Why I always prefer it personally. And I suggest other people to do that as well. Some people, because there's a lot of people that do have apps, um, or not apps, boxes. Sorry, I can't talk. Boxes. So I mean, a lot of people have like they do old school, they have like the cable boxes still, which I mean, that's pretty cool. But I like using the app because then you don't really need to get a box. What would be like if Scream 4, 5, 6 were released in 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008? Do you think they would be popular or not if they released the movies back then? Oh, dude, I really do think that they would have been really like a lot better than they are right now. Like, I'm not saying that Scream 6 is terrible, but it's definitely it's definitely not a perfect film. I definitely do think it's better than Scream 5. But yeah, I always thought about that as well. Like I always thought of like, what if Scream 4 was released in like 2004 or something like that? Like, or like Scream 6 or Scream 5 was released in 2007, or you know what I mean? I always think about that. I always think about that. Like I always thought that that would have been crazy if that really happened, if they did that. Like I think they would have been a lot, like the movies would have, I think they would have been way more popular than what they are now, you know? Because Wes Craven, he's just great at what he does. He was great at what he did, Um so yeah, I definitely think they would have been way more popular, and not saying that Scream 5, not saying that Scream 6 even is terrible. I think Scream 6 is better than Scream 5, even though it's not it's not a perfect film. I mean, of course, it's not perfect. You're not gonna any film that gets released or that gets made. They're not gonna be perfect. You're gonna have some moments in there that are not so perfect. Which that's just the way. It's the way like that's the way it goes. Like you're not gonna have any movie, TV shows, and you're not gonna be they're not gonna be perfect. So I mean, Scream 6 is not. I think Scream 5. Like I'm not. I don't like Scream 5, but I'm not saying that it's terrible either. But yeah, I can't imagine if they were released back in like 2004, 2005 ish. Couldn't imagine that. That would have been epic. After Scream 6 came out, I saw a Japanese anime of Scream after the film. It was pretty interesting and pretty cool to see a Japanese anime version of Screen check it out when you get a chance. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Um, for sure. I'll definitely check it out when I get a chance. Oh, okay, so it's on YouTube. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely check it out for sure. And I actually saw some kind of fan film where like Ghostface is wearing. I think Ghostface is wearing the outfit from Dead by Daylight, I believe. He had like that jacket on or whatever, and it was pretty weird looking. But I watched some fan film. It kind of looked silly. But yeah, um, but anyhow, I think I'm gonna get ready to hop off of here. I'm actually gonna be getting ready to watch a football game here. I think there's a game on right now um, that I'm gonna watch here. I've been on for about, I would say I was on for about 3 hours today, which is a lot better than yesterday. Yesterday I was pretty damn tired, and I had to get off pretty damn early. But I still believe Stu Barker was involved with it. Oh yeah, I do too. I've always believed that, and I think that Matthew Lillard was actually in. I think he was in one of the scenes. I think he was in the Stabathon scene or something like that. I think he was in one of those scenes. Um, I think he was in one of those scenes. He was in the Stabathon. I think he was the guy that was giving out the tickets or whatever. And he was also in Scream 2 in the party scene, but a lot of people were pointed it out in Scream 4. A lot of people were saying that, Matthew Lillard was basically in, he basically wanted to be like a background character in that movie and Scream 2 and Scream 4. Um, Obviously he was being like playing another character, which I guess doesn't really necessarily count as him being, as that being Stu, I guess. But I think it does in a way because it's screen film, and when you see Matthew Lillard in a film, that that's definitely Stu. Even if he was playing another character, he went in the he was in the film and he was just wanted to be a background character and wanted to play be somebody different. I mean, I guess that's a little different. That's not. I don't think that was Stu. That like, there's two different sides. All right, like I believe that it was Stu still, but then again, if Matthew Lillard was playing another character, then it really wasn't Stu. Yeah, it was the same actor that played Stu, but if you're playing a different character, you're not necessarily playing the actual Stu character. You're actually playing. If he's playing another character, then it's not, and he's not playing Stu. Well, then it's not Stu then. Which I get all that, but then again, I feel like it is, like it is and it isn't. You know, even if he isn't playing, even if he's playing another character. But anyhow, I think I'm gonna get off of here. Scott Walker, thank you for popping in, and be sure to hit that like button as well. But I'm gonna be hopping off of here. I've been on here for about 3 hours. Um, I had a good time, talking to you and theorizing with you too. Those of you that missed the stream, be sure to watch the replay and hit that like button as always and comment down below. But until next time, y'all, Scott Walker, thank you for popping in. And we actually had a new member in here. His name is James. I don't know who that is, but it sounds like a new person that has found my channel. So, thank you all for watching. Be sure to hit the like button, and till next time, y'all. Good night.